Hi all, welcome back to our channel. Uh, Today this session we are going to talk about Amazon EBS volume. So what is mean by Amazon EBS volume? Okay, so let's talk about in depth. So how we are going to use in EBS volume in real world. Okay, so Amazon EBS volume is a block level storage which is provided by Amazon. Basically, where we want to use exactly EBS volume, where we will lose. So these EBS volume, let's say for example, we have EC2 instance. If you want to, uh, when you create the EC2 server, it's the only one storage which we can use for the to create the server. Okay, when you create the server, we need to attach the storage. These are only EBS volume we are going to attach as part of the EC2 server creation. Okay, the same storage which we can use the database as well and the EC2 server as well. Okay, so we can use for the database purpose, we can use for the application purpose, we can use anywhere for the EC2 server. That could be Linux server or Windows server. It doesn't matter, but we can create anywhere. We can use anywhere in EBS volume. So okay, so the other thing is, let's say for example, we have EC2 server which is running on the one of the availability zone. Okay, uh, we have multiple availability zone. If you want to attach the EBS volume, when you create the EBS volume, we have to specify the EBS volume, which zone we want to create, which availability zone. The same availability zone only we can attach the EBS volume to the particular server. Let's say, for example, we have EC2 server which is creating on the EU West 2A. Okay, but EBS volume which is created in the when you create in the EBS volume, we need to specify the which availability zone. We volume create 2B, the server is running on the 2A, but you can't mount the you can't attach the say to EBS volume into the different availability zone into the server. So when you create a server, the volume and server should be same availability zone. Then only we can attach the EBS volume. Otherwise, you can't attach. Okay, please make sure. So when you create the EBS volume, we need to make sure where your server is running. Your server is running availability zone, which availability zone, the same availability zone only. When you create the EBS volume, we need to set the same availability zone. Then only you can attach the EBS volume to your server. Otherwise, you can't attach. Okay, so we can attach n number of multiple EBS volume to the server. You can attach 10 or 20, 100. You can attach multiple. It doesn't matter, but make sure when you create an EBS volume, your server and EBS volume should be same availability zone. Then only you can attach. Okay, if you create a EBS volume different availability zone, your server is running a different available. In that such cases, you can't attach the EBS volume into your server. Okay, so the other thing is, if you look at the one fourth point, so you can create EBS volume. It has encryption. So what is meant by encryption? So encryption is nothing but let's say for example, you lose your volume. If they attach your volume, so they can't see your data. Well, that is our, if you enable encryption, if they have a KMS keys, how the encryption actually will happen when we have when you create the EBS volume, we have option which is provided by the Amazon. That's a KMS keys. That is called key management service. When you create the EBS volume, we need to select the which KMS keys we want to use. Okay, whether we can use the default AWS KMS keys, or we can create a customized KMS keys. Okay, so that's the way. Even if you lose your data also, if they want to see your data, they have a KMS key, then only they can see. If they don't have a KMS keys, they can't see your data. That is called data encryption at rest, which is provided by Amazon. So when you create any in real time, when you create EBS volume, we have to make sure the EBS volume should be encrypted. Okay, how we are encrypting? By using KMS keys. Okay, this is some kind of data hiding purpose, if when GDPR purpose, all the GDPR purpose. So we can use this encryption. We can use the KMS volume to encrypt the encrypt the EBS volume. So we can use the encryption for the specific volume level, or we can use there is one more storage called S3 storage. We can use that one also for KMS keys, and RDS database as well. We can use the KMS keys. Okay, we'll talk about later S3 and EFS other storage volume. This today we are going to talk about only for the Amazon EBS volume. This is the main storage for the AWS environment. This is the one of the storage. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So next slide, okay, what are the types for EBS volume? Amazon EBS volume types. Okay, in Amazon EBS they have a different volume types. One is for the provisional IOPS and the general purpose and the throughput optimization and cold HDD. Okay, these are the types available for EBS volume. So it's depend upon. So if you want to, generally we'll go with general purpose. That would be sufficient for the SSD, GP3, GP2. So if you go with the provisional IOPS, what does mean? So what is the difference between these actually? So let's say, for example, when you're trying to hit, let's say for you're accessing on browser, Google browser. So if you, sometimes your browser is very fast, sometimes your browser is, when trying to hit it, keep on loading, keep on loading. So that is called input output actually. The same way the EBS volumes also will work like that. When you're trying to fetch the data, when you're trying to access your data from application or OS level or database level, is it depend upon the volume, you are able to fetch the data very quick. That is called based on the input and output. Okay, general purpose would be sufficient. If you want to provisional IOPS, you can go with provisional IOPS. Okay, each IOPS having a three, each one GB having 1 GB storage having three IOPS. Okay, so it's depend upon, if you create with the 10 GB, so we'll get it a 30 IOPS. If you create 100 GB, that is standard IOPS. IOPS means input output. Okay, so Amazon provide each GB having the three IOPS. Okay. Okay, it's depend upon, you can go with the provisional level. It's depend upon the cost actually. In fact, these volumes are different types in performance characteristics. Okay, allow to tire and allow to tailor. It, is it, see, the thing is actually the bottom line is it's about the cost. Okay, if you go with general purpose, that would be the normal cost, which is normal cost. If you go with provisional, that could be too much. That could be more expensive. It's a depend upon. Okay, the general purpose and throughput. These are all the different cost. So if you go, this would be sufficient even. So if you want more performance, this would be the best one. But obviously, you'll get a more at the end of the month. You'll get a more expensive. It's depend upon the storage. I'll show you what is the cost difference. Then you can easily understand. Okay, let me go ahead and show you. Then you guys can understand. Okay, AWS calculator. If you enter the AWS calculator, you can. I'll show you how the cost difference is going to come. Then you can easily understand. And when you go to the provisional house, you'll have more perform at the same time. Your billing rate also would be a little bit would be high. Okay, so if you go and check the London. Okay, now I am using Amazon EC2. Let's say for example. Here, okay, now I am running with this server. Okay, let's say for example running with this server. uh okay, where is the volume? Okay, rather than this one, I'll go with RDS would be more sufficient for us. Let me reload again. Okay, so I'll go with RDS. Okay, so if I click on, it doesn't matter, RDS also is in the EBS volume storage only. If I select anything would be fine. If I select this, for example, we are using this one, the storage which I am using 1 TB. Okay, okay, I'm using this much storage, doesn't matter. What now I'm using general purpose. If I want to use the provisional apps, we have to mention what is the provisional apps which you want to. This general purpose. Let's say, for example, if I select the storage option would be provisional apps. Let's see. So we are going 1,000. You can see 1,000 apps which are providing. See the cost is very expensive. If I change it to general purpose, you can see the price is 1750. Now if I change it to provisional apps, the calculation also going to change. So generally with 1,000 per 1,000 apps you'll get. Let's say for example I want IWAP should be 5,000. Okay, if you say giving like this, the price also is going to change. So depend upon the IWAPs we are going to give. We can go with n number of IWAPs. It doesn't matter. So you can, let's say for you create 1 GB. I want 100 IWAPs. You can go like that also. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's based on the IWAPs. We are going to allocate the particular volume. That much price we have to pay to the Amazon. Okay, the storage types and the okay. Can we decrease the EBS volume? Absolutely, answer is no. So you can't decrease the EBS volume. Let's say for example, you have created the EBS volume with 100 GB. Okay, later you realize it. I don't want 100 GB. I want to go with 50 GB. Okay, what will happen is if you try to reset the EBS volume, it won't happen. Okay, the absolute answer is no. So it doesn't matter when it doesn't matter 10 GB or 5 GB or 20 GB or 100 GB, 1 TB, 10 TB. When you create the EBS volume, that's it. You can't reset the EBS volume. Okay. So make sure if you want to reset the volume, what happen is the other option is we can create a new EBS volume with required storage, required sizes. Then attach the EBS volume. You copy the data to new EBS, copy the data to new EBS volume. Then take it over the old EBS volume, which have a bigger one. Okay, okay. This is very important. We can't reset the EBS volume. Okay. The final is So Amazon EBS snapshots. So what is mean by Amazon EBS snapshot? Actually, when it is snapshot is nothing but a backup of your EBS volume. So when you create EBS volume, so we want to take the backups. Why? Because the application data is storing everything into the EBS volume. Nothing but your you have laptop. You are running with C drive, D drive. That is called where the storage using, right. The same terminology in AWS is called EBS. In real in on premises we're using the storage. Okay, let's say we have D drive, C drive, or apps file system, or unified. These are the storage one. When you come to the AWS environment, the naming convention would be different. Here we are calling as EBS, elastic block storage. Okay, that Amazon come with a new name, so we are using that name. That bottom line is storage only, but they come up with a new name. Okay, so we can take the backups, we can take the a number of backups. It's depend upon, we can take the point in time. Generally we'll take the backups how if you want to do any application deployment or something, we'll take out the backup the EBS volume. Why? Because if something goes wrong into the application deployment, we can detach the EBS volume by using snapshot. We are going to create a new EBS volume, then attach the EBS volume to the particular server. In that case, what happens is before going to release, so what is the data available particular EBS volume, the same data you are going to restore from the backup. That is a snapshot. Snapshot is nothing but a backup. Okay, the that's what I want to say for the EBS volume. Let's go ahead and go to the console. Go to the console. Okay, so what I'm going to do first thing, I'm going to create a one server. I'm going to create a one server now. So let me show you. So what let me show we'll take the first thing is we'll create two servers. We're going to create two servers in different availability zone. We'll create one server in availability zone 2A. I'll create one more server in availability zone 2B. So I'll create a EBS volume. I'll try to attach. Let's see how it goes. Then once completed this one, we'll take the snapshot. By using snapshot, we'll try to recover. We'll terminate the server. There is a 4 5 action items which are going to perform. We are going to perform now. I think hopefully that will cover all the things for the EBS volume type. EBS volume. Okay. So I'm going to create first. I'll create the EBS volume. First, I'm going to launch the server. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to use this one. So general purpose. If I click on, I'm going to create a so I'm going to create a 2 availability zone first now. Then I will create one more server availability zone 2B. Okay. If I come down, add storage. I'm going to create a EBS volume now. You can this is the root volume. It's come up with the 10 GB default one. Here you can see there's a volume type would be the general purpose. We can go with this one. You can there's a lot of options there. Depend upon if you go with provision, you have to pay more money. Okay. I'll go with the general purpose. Then delete and termination. What happens is what is mean delete or termination? When you create the server, okay, EBS volume persists independently from running life of EC2 instance. However, you can choose automatically delete the EBS volume when associated instance is terminated. If you select this option, when you create the server, automatically to delete the EBS volume. If you don't specify this option, what will happen is even if you terminate the, let's say for example, I have unclear this one. I didn't select this checkbox. So what happened is this EBS, which I'm going to create the EBS volume now. So I'm going to create this EBS volume is 2 GB. Okay, I don't want a big one. So here encryption, there is option is the encryption. Okay. So before going, sorry, it can't. Let me go back again. So select again. So I'm selecting 2A. Okay, hard storage. Here I'm creating a new volume here. Okay, we can create a volume here or we can create later also. Okay, for leave it. I'll create it later. First we'll create the server, then you can understand easily. I'm going to keep name, uh, zone, availability zone, 2A. Okay, let's go ahead and select the default. I'm going to select in default security group. Okay, and add all the things. Let's go ahead and launch. I have keys all available. That is YouTube. Okay, let me go ahead and launch the EC2 instance. Okay, now I have created the EBS volume. Now I have created, sorry, now I have created the EC2 instance. Okay, now it is running 2A. If I scroll down, you can see running. Now I'm going to create one more EC2 instance now. Okay, let me see how. Let me go ahead and create. Okay, now selecting again. Same. Now I am selecting same BPC, but I'm selecting this time. I'm selecting with the 2B availabilities. I just want to make sure whether you can more attach the different availability zone for the EBS volume. I just want to show you. Okay, I'm going to keep in the same. Sorry. Now here I'm going to create one more tag called name. So yeah, hyphen zone 2b. Okay. I'm going to create with 2b availability zone. Select existing one. Select the default one. Okay. Launch. Select the keys and acknowledge. And that's it, done. So we have created two servers now. Okay. Let me show you. We have created two servers successfully. Okay. We have created two servers. You can see availability zone 2a and 2b. Okay. Let me go ahead and quickly. So this is successfully completed. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create if I scroll down a little bit, here you have a elastic block storage. You can see volume or snapshot and lifecycle manageable. Let me go ahead and click the volume tab. Let me open the new tab. So what I'm going to do, okay, let me first log into server. Then you guys can understand. Let me take the public IP of the server. Open this one. Load my keys. Go to the authorization on YouTube. Okay. Default user is EC2-user. Okay. I'm in the now I'm able to log in. Let me change my font size. Then you can see. Let me key up. Let me change the appearance. I want to keep it as a 60 and bold. Say apply. Okay. Okay. Let me go to the root user. Now we can see. Okay. Now I'm in the server. Now I'm in server. Okay. This is a 2A. Let me go ahead and quickly take the 2A as well. Uh, now I'm in 2A. Let me take the IP of the 2B. This is the public IP. Okay. Let me open new more tab. Let me go to login authentication. Let me log in and open EC2-user. Okay. Let me change the font size. Let me change the appearance. Use the bold. Use 16 and change the color as well. Let me change the full default bold default background and change it to here. Keep it as a white and again change it to settings. Default foreground and modify into here select as so you can see now this is availability zone 2b. Okay, now I just want to make sure you guys don't confuse. So this one is 1a, the white one is 2b. Okay, sorry, 2a and this is a 2a and this would be 2b. Okay. Okay, now we have two servers which is available. Now what I'm going to do, now I'm going to create the EBS volume. Okay, before going to EBS volume, now I can see here LSB, if I enter LSBLK, so we don't have any extra volume available, only we have one default root volume available, that is available 10 GB. Even here also, let me LSBLK. If I enter here, we have only root volume available. We don't have any other extra volumes. Okay. 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 Let me go ahead and create a kick new volume. Okay. Here I'm creating volume. I volume type would be general purpose. That is one of the storage for the EBS volume. I'll go with, there is a lot of it there. You can see general purpose SSD, unprovisioned SSD IO2 cold. I'll go with the default one, which is okay. Now I'm creating it volume size is 2 GB. Okay. The minimum would be 1 GB and maximum would be 16 terabyte. That's the default volume size. Minimum we have, if we want to create a EBS volume, that could be 1 GB. The and maximum would be 16 terabyte. You can see here. Okay, you cannot go more than 16 terabyte. Okay, create a 2 GB volume. Now you can see here. You can see there's an option which I'm talking about, availability zone. If we select the 2 availability zone, now we created two servers. So one is 2A and other one is 2B. Now I'm selecting the 2A. Okay, here the snapshot ID. We can create the volume by using snapshot also. I don't want to create a snapshot. I want to create a brand new volume. I'll show you how we are going to do. Okay. Here we have encryption option. If you want encryption, so we can go with Amazon EBS customizer keys, or if you want, you can go with customized KMS keys. If you want to create a customized KMS, here's the option KMS. If you create here KMS, okay, if you scroll down, as systematic and asymmetric of the single encryption keys used for the both. See, if you use this one, we can use the same key. We can encrypt the data. We can decrypt the data. Let's say, for example, you create the EBS volume by using this option. The same EBS volume you can encrypt and decrypt if you use this option. If you use this option, this is asymptomatic, asymptomatic. So public and private keys pair that can be used for encrypt and decrypt for a single verify operation. It doesn't matter. We can go with, I'll go with this one. Okay, next, the key name. What is the alias name you want to keep? KMS. Uh, dev. I'll keep it as dev environment. Doesn't matter. You can keep it anything. So if you come scroll down, you can see next. Okay. Mm, there is a options available. I don't want to go with anything, so I'll go with the default one. Okay. So it doesn't. You can go with the particular. See what does mean actually? We are trying to give the access to specific. Uh, we're trying to give the access to specific. The particular KMS keys. What does mean actually? They have the IAM role which is used for the to manage the encryption. So by using IAM also we can manage, but I don't want. I'll go with the default one. Let's see how it goes. Okay, and finish it. Okay, now I have created the KMS case. Okay, if I take this, now I created KMS successfully. Let's go back to the volume here. If I refresh here, select the snapshot. If I select encrypted one, let me see, click on here. It's not showing anything. Okay, why? Because maybe we had, let me go back again, start again, create a volume again, 2 GB volume, and if I encrypt, now we can see KMS dev. Okay, this is the default and customized encryption. If you want, you can go with. If you want, you can. If you want, you can go with to Amazon default to KMS keys. Amazon KMS. These are the Amazon KMS keys, which is provided by Amazon. I don't want to go with Amazon. I want to go with customized management. Which one I just created KMS and KMS underscore dev. You can give any name. Any name doesn't matter. But I'll go with that one KMS. I have successfully selected the KMS keys for the particular EBS volume. What does it mean when you select the EBS volume? When you create the EBS volume, the volume is encrypting. Okay, and here I don't want to. I'm able to create the volume successfully. Okay, if we come down below, so 2 GB volume which I created just now. Where is the volume? You can see volume here. Let me keep the name here. What is the 2A? I'm going to keep okay EC2 either 2A available to zone. That's why I'm repeating this 2A. Okay, so I'm able to create the EBS volume. Okay, let me go. We have successfully created the 2 GB EBS volume. Now you can see here option, the volume is available stone. It doesn't, it means the volume is not attached to till now any instance. Okay, now I'm going to attach this EBS volume. Let me select this volume, go to the actions. If you select here, option is volume attach volume. So we have created the EBS volume. Now we want to attach the EBS volume to specific server. Now I am trying to attach. Okay, if I click on here, you can see all the 2A, these all are running with the 2A availability zone. Okay, if you go back and see here, okay, if you go back and see here, you can see these are available 2A. You can see all are running except this 2B availability zone 2B server, all are running with 2A only. That's why we can see when you're trying to select, you can see all the servers. That doesn't mean that status is running or stopped. Okay, that's why it's stopped. You can see all the status. You can see all the status. The other servers status we can see stopped. The running one you can see status running. But I'm going with this server only. Okay, let me hit. Okay, the other servers it won't show. Why? Because the volume should be specific zone purpose. It's not a region purpose. If you create the volume 2A availability zone, we can attach the only this volume to 2A availability zone EC2 server only. We can't attach the volume to 2A 2B availability zone server. Okay, I have attached this one. Let me go ahead and attach. If I attach, you can see status. You can see status is in use. If I go back and see here, if I enter, now I'm in the 2A availability zone. If I enter the LSBLK, so you can see there is a volume called xvdf, that is 2B. Okay, so if I want to create the if I want to using this one, I want to mount it. How we are going to mount the EBS volume? How we are going to mount the EBS volume? Okay, let me go ahead and check the volume. Mount the EBS. Let me check mount the EBS volume EC2. If I enter this one, you can take anything. Maybe you can go with the how to attach mount volume. So we have already attached the EBS volume successfully. Now if I scroll down, this part is done, volume creation, all the things we have done. If I scroll down, this part is completed. If I enter the lsblk, I can see. If I click on, if I enter this one sudo file s, if I okay, file hyphen s, if I enter the file hyphen s, sorry, file hyphen s, if I enter the dev xvdf, You can see the data. What does it mean? It will show the data means the volume is okay. If you come the output, what is saying actually here document, your volume is empty. If you don't come the output with the data, the volume is already having some data. Okay, so format the ext4. Now I want to format this EBS volume. If I take this one, go to the server ext4 and give this one, let's say enter, we have able to successfully formatted the EBS one. If I come down a little bit, now I would like to mount the, I want to create one file called apps, app data. Okay, if I enter this one, now I would like to mount this volume. Uh, which file system you want to mount? Take this device name, this is the device name, and this is the file system I want to mount. If I enter this one, we can see the app file system is mounted under this one. If I go back to this one, okay, mktr apps, apps, apps 2, apps 3. If I enter, you can see all volumes we created successfully. Okay, this is the way we have to mount it. Let me go back to the document. This is the way we have to mount. If you want unmount also by using umount command, we can mount it. Now what happen is, okay, this is the way we have to mount. I want to mount the same day. Let's say if I want the other thing is actually, let's say for example, the same volume I want to attach the this to be available to zone. So how we are going to attach? We don't have option. The EBS volume is not a shareable volume. EBS volume only can attach only one server within the availability zone. It's not a shareable volume. We can't attach the same one EBS volume to multiple servers. Let's say if I can select this one again, if I can click on, you can see there is no option attach volume. You can see detach volume is there. Detach volume is we are going to detach the volume from this server. We can attach other server. Okay. Okay, let's say for example, now I have attached this volume. Okay, now I would like to take it out this volume. Okay, now I have come out of this volume. Okay, let me you mount this volume. I have unmounted this volume. Okay, you can see the now there is no volume available, but we can see still lsblk that the device is available particular server. Now I would like to attach this detach this volume. Let me try to detach this volume. Okay, if we try to detach this volume, so even if we try to detach this, we can detach. Let me try to detach. You can see still in use. It will take a few minutes of time. Now we can see. Now we can see the volume is available state. It means nobody is using this volume. Okay. If we select again, if we again, if we go back to server, if we enter lsblk, you can't this EBS volume that is gone. Why? Because the EBS volume we detached. If before going to detach, we want to unmount this file system into the. We want to unmount particular device in specific file system. Then go to the console level. We have to detach. Then again, if you want to attach, select this file system again, attach volume. If you want to attach this volume, again we have to select the server 2A only. Why? Because this the volume which you create in 2A availability zone only. Okay. If I select this one to be FF, let's scroll down and attach. You can see here. Now we can see again, we can see volume in state. If I come back to server again, so if you enter lsblk again, so you can see the volume is available with 2 GB option. Now if I would like to mount again, how we are going to mount? Let's say we have already apps file system available. Okay. Uh, Mount xvdf apps. If I enter, go to the we are able to mount successfully. If I click again, we can see all the data available. Okay. If you want, you can if you want, you can mount it other file system, other name also, different name also, it doesn't matter. If I enter, okay, you mount again. If I select this option, what is the name which is available? Uh, if I select now, I would like to create one more file. Only apps now I am going to create. Otherwise, I will go with E01. It doesn't matter. Now I am now I would like to mount. How we are going to mount? Again, take the device name. What is the device name which we are using, which is available? XVDF, dev, XVDF. And what is the file name which is created just now? E01. If I click again enter, you can see E01 available. If I go back, we can see the same data. So you can see data is not available. The data is available. It doesn't matter what is the name which you are going to use. Just if you want, you can rename the name also. Okay, that's why we have to create the volume and attach the volume to specific specific server within the specific availability zone. It's not a shareable volume. We can't attach the same volume to different availability. So if you want to attach, again we have to create the uh, new volume with respect to availability zone, attach the same volume to specific EC2 server. Now what I'm going to do, we have created the volume successfully. Now I would like to take the snapshot of the volume. Let me see. Okay, now uh, the we got it, how we want to create the EBS volume. Now I want to use the same EBS volume into the different server. How we are going to do, how we are going to, I want to inside what happened is, inside we have data available. I want to same data to be copied to different server. Okay, copy different sir. How we are going to do? Okay, rather than copying data, what we'll do? We'll take the snapshot of this EBS volume. We'll take the snapshot of this volume and attach the EBS volume to specific EC2 server. How we are going to take the snapshot? Okay, let me go ahead and see. Okay, if I select this one, go to the action. Here we have option called create snapshot. If I click this one, okay, it's asking for the description. What is the description which you want to give? Okay, so we can keep it anything. Okay, let's say for example, backup of EC2 2A availability zone. Okay, 2A availability zone. You can see the volume is already encrypted. How we encrypted? By using KMS keys, the volume is encrypted. When you create the EBS volume, by that only we have to encrypt. Once you create the EBS volume, it's not possible to encrypt. So please make sure when you create the EBS volume, if you want to encrypt by using KMS keys, we can encrypt. Once you create the EBS volume, it's not possible to encrypt the same volume. Again, you want to create the new EBS volume with encryption option. Then if you want to copy the data, you have to copy the data from old EBS volume, old encrypted EBS volume to new encrypted EBS volume. Okay. Now I'm going to create a tag here, keep it as a name. So I'm going to value, I'm going to keep it as a EC2 hyphen 2B availability zone. Okay, 2B. Okay, so create the snapshot. Okay, now I have created the snapshot. Let me go back to the snapshot. You can see option is here available. Here the snapshot. So you can see snapshot is creating with the 2 GB option. CBS volume is nothing but it's like a storage. So Amazon come up with a different name called EBS. That's it. So the ultimately bottom line is storage. It's a storage. How we are using the laptop in D drive, C drive, the same way we can use anywhere by using EBS volume storage. So the snapshot is completed. You can see 2 GB. Now I would like to create by using snapshot. We are going to create a volume. How we are going to create a volume? If I select this one, click on here. Okay, create image and delete volume is ever create volume. I want to go with create volume. Okay, if I create again, you can see again, if I let's suppose if I select this one, it will show the error. The size of the volume can only be increased, not decreased. That's what I discussed in the before starting of the my video. So we can go with n number of size. I'll go with now I'm going with 2 GB, 5 GB. The snapshot is available 2 GB only, but I would like to go with 5 GB. Okay, we are not going to lose any data, but if you're trying to decrease the volume, you'll get the error. You can see the size of the volume can be only increased, not decreased. Now I would like to go with 4 GB. Okay, if I go with 4 GB, we can go until 16 terabyte, but we can't decrease the EBS volume when you create the, either it could be snapshot or volume, we can't decrease. Okay, if I select this one, you can see here you want to select the availability zone. The snapshot, which availability zone we took the snapshot, we took the snapshot 2A availability zone. Now I don't want to go with the 2A, I want to go with the 2B. If I select, we have option now. Why? Because we are creating the EBS volume from the backup. It doesn't matter. We can create the EBS volume from brand new, or we can create the EBS volume from backup. Backup is nothing but a snapshot. We already discussed how do we need to create the EBS volume. Now I am trying to create we have taken the backup of the one of the EBS volume. Backup is nothing but a snapshot. Now we are trying to create the from backup. So in that case, we cover the two scenarios. We can create the EBS volume from the brand new. We can create the EBS volume from snapshot. Now this time I'm going with the 2B availability zone. Why? Because I have one more server which is sitting on the 2B availability zone. Okay. If you don't availability zone, I would like to I'm suggesting to please watch my previous videos. Then you can understand what is availability zone, what is region. Then you can understand clearly. So if I come down, you can see by default automatically case the KMS keys. If you select this one, it's not possible. Better to go with KMS key dev only. Why? Because when we create the snapshot, we select the snapshot is having the KMS key keys only, but we can't change the KMS keys. If you want to go with different KMS keys, it's not possible. Why? Because what are the KMS keys which is available to the specific device, we have to use the same one only. Okay. If I come down below, I'm going to keep it name here. So this is EC2 2B. Okay. If I scroll down below, create a volume. Now we have created successfully volume. You can see this is the volume which I created. We have earlier P volumes available. Okay. Now this volume which I created from the, you can see here, you can find out earlier the volume which I created 2A. You can see this is the one which I created. You can see there is no snapshot here. What does mean? The volume is created from empty volume. So it doesn't matter. This volume is not created from snapshot. If we create the volume from snapshot, we can easily go ahead and we can see here this volume is created from the snapshot. That way it will show. Okay. Now we can see the volume status is available. Now I would like to attach this volume. If you can see the where the volume is created in the 2B availability zone. If you go and select the attach the action, go to the action, you can see attach the volume. It will show only one server. Why? Because we have only one server which is available in 2B. If you go back and see, we have only one server. All are sitting on the 2A availability zone. This is the only server which is created in the 2B availability zone. Rest of all the servers which is created in the 2A availability zone. Okay. That's why we can see only one server is showing here. There is no other server showing. Okay. If I select this one, you can keep it anything. I'll go with H. It doesn't matter. Okay. So this is the just device name. So we can go with the serial wise. I'll go. It doesn't matter. You can keep it anything. Let's go ahead and attach. Let me go back and see the 2B. If I enter LSBLK, you can see there is one more volume which I created from the snapshot that is called 4GB. You guys can understand it how we need to mount. Other if you want, you can create a brand new volume. You can attach. But we already covered over the previously we already covered how we want to create a brand new one. Now I would like to go with taking the backup from the one server and mount the same volume into the different availability zone. You can mount the same availability zone. Doesn't matter. So I would like to go with a different availability zone. Why? Because EBS volume is not a shareable volume. We can't mount the same EBS volume multiple servers. Multiple servers. Even if you create the EBS volume in 2A availability zone, also we can't create one EBS volume. We can attach the only one server within the availability zone or anywhere. We can't mount the same EBS volume into the within availability zone multiple server also. There is no option. Okay. Okay, now we can see the volume is successfully mounted. Now if now the volume is successfully mounted. Now if I look, let me go ahead and see. Now I created one more called here. I created something called data. Okay, your data is already I'm created here. Okay, I'm going to create here something called file system called apps new. I created apps new. Okay, now I would like to mount it. How we are going to mount it? What is the device name which you are using? Dev, and and the name would be what is the name which we LSBL, and this is the volume name. If I select this one, take this one. Okay, if I enter here, you can see the volume is mounted. Why? Because we don't want to format the volume again. Why? Because this is the this volume having the data. The earlier which I showed earlier. If I go back and see, if we can run this command, file-s, file-s command. Let me copy this one. The output will come earlier. If you have data, it will come output. Now we don't get that output. Let me go back and run this command. File-, if I enter this one, you can see we come up with a different output. What does mean? The file is having the data. Okay, you can see the output is coming with a different one. If we have empty volume, the output is, if we have a command output shows data, it means your volume is empty. Okay, that's why the previously the volume is the one which when you're trying to mount it, we got the same output here. If we scroll down, scroll up, uh, we scroll up, you can see here by the time we got the output. Now the volume, but it was actually there is no data. That's a brand new volume. Now after that we have created some couple of the folders inside the apps and app stuff, apps 3, all the things. Why? Because the volume having the data, but we took the snapshot. By using snapshot, we created the new brand new EBS volume. The EBS volume attached to the to be availability zone. When you go to run the command, we can see some data available. Okay, that's why the volume having that. If I click go to the, you can see the data is available. You can see the data is available. That's why we had that's why we have to take the backup. So if you want to mount we can mount it anywhere, doesn't matter, but it's not a shadable volume. But again I'm saying one EBS volume can be attachable only one server within the availability zone anywhere. It's not possible to attach the one single volume into multiple servers, but we can attach the n number of EBS volume to the specific server. Even if I go ahead and create one more EBS volume, if you go ahead and create one more EBS volume, we can mount it. How we are going to create the, just go ahead and create the EBS volume. If you go and click the EBS volume, if you go and click the EBS volume with 2 GB of the volume, if you come down, I'll mount it to 2B, go to the 2B. I don't want to encrypt now. If you don't want to encrypt, detach this one. I don't want to encrypt, create a volume. Okay, go to the volume. If you go and see here, the volume is creating. Now this time my volume I created with to be available to zone. Okay, let me select the action, attach the volume, select the this one, go to the J, attach this one. If I go back and see the here, clear LSBLK, LSBLK, you can see the new volume which I created the 2 GB. If you want to mount the again, if you want to mount the EBS volume, how you're going to mount? Again, go to the same document, go to the document, run this command, file-s, go to the file-s, dev, you can run with this one. You can see the volume is brand new. That's why it's showing output called data. I want to format that one, format the EBS volume. Take this one ext4 file, then run this one. We have successfully formatted. Now I would like to mount mktr. I'm creating one more called test. Okay, I would like to mount now. These are device name. This is the volume which you want to create. What is the name you want to keep? Take this one, give this one, and enter. Mount it. You can see here we're able to successfully mount the volume. If you go back and go inside, you can create whatever you want. mktr data 2. It doesn't matter. We can keep it anything. Okay. That's why we have to mount it. Okay. If you want to unmount, how we're going to unmount? You mount. You can keep it. You can mount it on number of file system. If you enter this one, the mount system is emptied. If you want to delete the volumes, how we're going to do? We have successfully unmounted. Now, if I'd like to go ahead and select the volume which I want to delete, go to the actions and first we have to detach the volume. We can't delete it directly. First, we have to detach the volume. Okay, we are able to detach the volume successfully. We don't have option. You guys, you don't have option. It was actually. Now we can see the option. Delete the volume. Earlier we don't have option. Why? Because the volume is already attached to the specific server. That's why we don't the delete volume option is disabled. Okay. Now again, if we delete the volume, we're able to delete the volume successfully. If you go back and see the LSBLK, the 2 GB volume gone. Now we have only 4 GB volume available. Now what happened is, now I'm going to show you something. Now the earlier which I when you create a server, we don't have. Okay, let me go ahead and terminate. Okay, if I go back to the server, I want to show you something. This is the server which I am talking about. If I come down below uh, storage, if I come down, we have one EBS volume is showing. Now what happen is we have to write. Okay, if I select this one, We have two available to zone has. Okay, two volumes. One is root volume, other one is which we created from the snapshot. Here we have a delete or termination. You can see deletion termination is no. What does mean? Delete and termination yes. If you have a delete and termination is yes or no, you remember right when you're trying to launch the server, what will happen? There is an option called if you select next. If I select next, there is an option which I showed earlier. This one. If you have option this one, what does mean when you create when you delete the server, the automatically the volume also it will going to terminate. If you unclick this one, the volume is available, but the server is automatically when you terminate the server, the server will gone, the volume is still available for us. Now I'm going to show you how it is. If you go here, if you go here, select the option. Okay, now we have two available storage. If I come down, we have a two one. This is a root volume, the first one, which is having the delete and termination, the other one having the no. Now what I will do, I'm going to terminate the server. Let's see what is going to happen. If I select this one, the snapshot volume which I created, that this one should be available. You can see the volume is 7136 should be available. This one has to go as part of the delete and termination policy. If I go ahead and delete this one, terminate the server, terminate instance, let me see what is going to happen. Now server is terminating. So if you go back to the volume, you can see the volume is still available. You can see 7136. You can see here status still is in use. You can see status is available. That volume is gone. Why? Because that one is already terminated. You can see this one is available for us. You can see here, you can see that is called delete and termination policy. Okay, that's how we have to mount. There's a way we have to manage the EBS volume. We can create the EBS volume and we can mount it. How we are That's the way we have to create the EBS volume. We can mount it and we can take the snapshot. We can buy the snapshot how we want to create the EBS volume. Then attach the EBS volume to specific servers. I hope you guys like my video. Please do subscribe my channel. And if you have any if you have any comments or any queries, please post in the comment section. I'll try to respond. Thank you. Have a great. Thank you so much.